Each of our lives is like a long journey, where we start from our passionate youth, taking our first steps into life until we become adults and then face the impermanence of life. When we are young, we do not think much about death, but as we grow older, we realize that everything in this world can change in a moment, and all things and phenomena have their end. Therefore, when we face death, it is important not to regret the past, but to realize the value of life right from the present. How we live, how we treat others, will be the things that will be remembered the longest. Have we been kind to ourselves and those around us in the past months? That is the question that each of us needs to ask ourselves in this journey of life. In this life, when facing death, the first thing we often think about is the relationships we have built throughout that long life. Will we leave behind any memorable marks? Will the people around us remember us with what feelings? Everyone's life has to face changes with inevitable challenges. But in all those challenges, we can still find valuable lessons about love and kindness. When thinking about kindness, I realize that it is not just a simple action, but a way of life, an attitude that we bring in every moment. Kindness is not something too far away or complicated. It is simply small but meaningful actions, such as listening to others, helping those in need, or simply treating people with respect and kindness. In particular, when facing death, we will no longer regret the material things or the superficial achievements we have achieved. The only thing that makes us feel secure is the relationships we have built, the hearts we have touched throughout our lives. A simple example from everyday life can illustrate this. I once had the opportunity to meet a rich man, successful in his career. He had everything that many people desire, but what troubled him was the broken relationships, the old friends that he had lost because of his selfishness in the past. He realized that the things he earned could buy many things, but could not buy back the friendship and love that he had lost. That is a valuable lesson about the true value of life. Ultimately, although life can end at any moment, if we live with love, kindness, and cherish the relationships around us, we will never have regrets. Love is the only thing that can transcend all boundaries and time. Each of us can make a mark not only through our personal achievements, but also through the way we treat the world. When facing death, what remains are kind relationships, memories that cannot be forgotten. So why not start today, from the small actions we do for others, to create a meaningful and fulfilling life? When we think about kindness, there is an interesting thing that I realize. Kindness does not always come from big actions or grand gestures. On the contrary, it often appears in small, ordinary moments every day that we rarely pay attention to. Simple stories, thoughtful greetings, or simply a gentle smile to a stranger are enough to warm the recipient's heart and sow the seeds for a kinder world. A close example that comes to mind is the story of a close friend of mine, Ms. Mai. She works in the healthcare field, always busy with work and family life. But whenever someone needs help, even if it is just advice or a snack, she is willing to spend time to take care of them. Once, during a pandemic, she volunteered to participate in charity work, helping patients without relatives. Although she cannot replace what relatives can do, her presence has brought comfort and hope to many people. Those seemingly small actions have created a much deeper impact than we can imagine. Miss Mai is not rich, nor is she very famous, but it is her kindness that has built a loving community, supporting each other in difficult times. This is a great example of how kindness can spread and bring positive changes not only in our lives, but also in those around us. Death, as part of the natural order, can be a scary subject for many people. However, when viewed from a philosophical and spiritual perspective, death is not an end, but a transition. Therefore, instead of being afraid or worried, we can learn to live more fully by spending more time loving, caring, and helping those around us. To me, death is not an end. It is just a turning point in the endless flow of life. Just like in Buddhist philosophy, death is not something we should avoid, but a natural part of life, helping us to be more aware of the value of what we have. When we see death as a part of life, we will live more meaningfully, live more fully with what we truly love. We can learn many lessons about kindness from death. In fact, there are many people who, when facing death or witnessing the death of a loved one, truly realize that they have not lived a full and meaningful life. Many people have spent their whole lives just searching for a career and wealth, forgetting to build close relationships and cherished memories. I remember once when I visited a patient in the hospital with a friend. That friend shared with me that when he began to face the last days of his life, he realized that everything in life only has true meaning when we know how to appreciate the people around us, when we know how to love and care. That was the moment he realized that being kind to others is the greatest gift we can give to this world. Ultimately, death may be an inevitable part of life, but kindness is something we can choose right now. Every act of kindness we do, no matter how big or small, contributes to making the world a better place. And when we face death, we will not regret the things we cannot take with us, but will feel at peace that we lived with kindness, love, and care. As I mentioned earlier, kindness doesn't always come from big acts. Sometimes it's in the small, ordinary moments that we find its true power. I want to tell you a story I heard from a friend who used to work at a nonprofit organization that helps the homeless. This story may make you think a lot about how one act of kindness can change a life. The story is about a homeless man named Dewey. He lived in a very poor area where the lives of the people there were always difficult. One day when Dewey was sitting on the side of the road, a middle-aged woman passed by. Instead of ignoring him like the others, she stopped and started talking to Dewey. She asked him if he needed any help, and Dewey simply replied that he didn't need anything. But instead of leaving, the woman decided to invite Dewey to a nearby cafe and give him a meal. During the meal, they talked about life, about what Dewey had experienced, and the difficulties he had to face. The woman not only gave Dewey a meal, but also listened to him and shared her own stories. What was special was that she didn't stop there. After a few more meetings, she connected Dewey with an organization that helps homeless people. They helped Dewey get his first job after many years of living on the streets. Dewey changed completely after receiving the care and kindness from that woman. He not only received material help, but also encouragement, a precious thing that not everyone has in life. This story is the clearest proof of the power of kindness. Sometimes, just a small action, a little care, we can help change someone's life in a way they never imagined. When reflecting on kindness, I realized that kindness itself is also a long journey of learning and understanding. We cannot live forever in selfishness or indifference to others. From personal experiences, I find that the more mature I become, the more I realize the value of kindness. Once, I met an old friend whom I had not contacted for a long time. When we met again, she shared that she had experienced many ups and downs in life. In recent years, she has started doing charity work, helping poor children in remote areas. What surprised me was that she not only gave money or gifts to the children, but also directly participated in teaching and taking care of them. She said, "Kindness is not about giving away what you have in excess, but about sharing what you really need." And from what she did, I learned an important lesson about how we can face life and love more. I think that each of us can learn to be more kind. This is not simply a one-time action, but a continuous process of learning and practicing. It is through acts of kindness that we will understand that people are not just individuals, but part of a larger community. And when we connect with those around us through kindness, we not only change them, but also change ourselves. One interesting thing that I have realized through many years of research and practice is that when we live with kindness, we not only create external change, but also bring peace to our hearts. The feeling of knowing that we have done something good for someone, even if it is just a small gesture, helps the soul become light and relaxed. Buddhism also teaches us that true peace comes from within, not from external things. When we live with kindness and compassion, we not only help others, but also nurture inner peace. That is why I always try in my daily life to practice small but meaningful things. It can be just a friendly greeting, a small gesture of help, or even a word of comfort to someone who is having a hard time. These things not only help others, but also help me feel peace in my heart. Kindness is a journey that not only changes others, but also helps us understand ourselves more deeply. It is through acts of kindness that we learn how to live meaningfully, appreciate the good things around us, and open our hearts to others. And as a result, when we live with kindness, we will also find inner peace and true happiness. In addition to acts of kindness in daily life, kindness is also evident in human relationships. Each of us can help those around us, from family, friends to colleagues. A healthy relationship is not only built on respect, but also requires care and concern for each other. When we treat others kindly, it is not simply an act of charity, but we are actually contributing to nurturing lasting and sincere relationships. Once, I witnessed a very interesting situation between two close friends. One of them was in financial difficulty and needed money to sustain his life. The other friend not only gave a large sum of money, but also took the initiative to support him mentally. She did not only give money, but also took care of her friend with understanding and sharing from the bottom of her heart. Sometimes kindness is not only material support, but also empathy, listening, and sharing sadness and joy. In that situation, I realized that it was kindness that helped their relationship become closer. They were not only friends, but also companions in life. They understood each other better, shared more with each other, and most importantly, did not let life's challenges drive them apart. This made me think about how we treat the people around us. A small act of kindness can create an invisible connection, helping relationships grow naturally and sustainably. Another aspect of kindness that I have found in my research is that kindness is closely related to acceptance. We cannot truly be kind if we do not accept others, especially those who are different from us. When we live in a world full of differences, from culture, thinking, to life perspectives, kindness is not only what we do for others, but also how we perceive and accept them. During a short retreat at a temple, I had the opportunity to talk to a monk about acceptance and kindness. He shared that in Buddhism, kindness is not only expressed through actions, but also how we perceive and accept people as they are. In particular, that kindness is also expressed through the ability to forgive. If we can forgive others, that is when we truly grow in kindness. And when we forgive, we not only ease the pain of others, but also free ourselves from resentment. I think the big lesson here is that kindness is not always easy. It requires us to master our emotions, overcome our differences, and be tolerant of those who have hurt us. And when we practice kindness in all our relationships, our lives will become much more peaceful and happy. Another important aspect that I want to share is the kindness we show ourselves. Sometimes we are so focused on taking care of others that we forget to love ourselves. In modern society, with the pressures of work, family, and society, it is easy for us to forget to take care of our mind and body. However, if we do not know how to be kind to ourselves, how can we be kind to others? I have been through stressful and tiring times in my work and life. At those times, I felt that I could not give anyone true kindness because I could not love myself. One day I realized that kindness is not only about helping others, but also about taking care of myself, knowing how to rest and relax when needed. And I started to change my lifestyle, not only taking care of my physical health, but also focusing on my mental health. I learned to say no when I felt overwhelmed. I spent time on activities that made me happy and peaceful, and I learned to forgive myself when I made mistakes. After a while, I realized that I could do more, not only for myself, but also for others. Because when we love and care for ourselves,